not going to be strong. I'll carry the weight for you and I'll wear it well. Here is a man who believes in capital punishment, but paints himself as a compassionate man. Here is a man who left the campaign to go home and oversee the murder of a black mentally retarded man and calls himself a friend to black people. Here is a man who, when the Vietnam War called him, said that he would not fight. He dodged the draft, but sent literature to my house saying that he was for military intervention against communism. So now you tell me, if he wasn't going to fight for the principles that he said he believed in, whose son was he sending to kill people all around the world? Well, I'm here to tell you, Mr. Clinton, not my man, honey. Not my man. Not my man today, not my son when I have one, and not anybody else's man who don't have the sense to know better. Is Mr. Clinton a racist? Is that what you're saying, Sister Soldier? Well, of course he is. As African people, we must raise the ante to the level where we stop letting people use slave master antics to woo us into their bedroom. It is no longer acceptable for white politicians to party with African women, play jazz, trumpets, and whatever else it is, eat soul food and say they down because they partying with us. That you down because you partying with us. Everybody in the world wants to sleep with the African woman. That's no surprise. Everybody in the world wants to dance to our rhythms and float and feel our vibration. That's no surprise. Everybody in the world wants to eat our foods and down home cooking. That's no surprise. But where do you stand on the policy? And now that you've established that you're a liar, how can we tell that where you stand is where you really stand? If you're a liar and you portray yourself to be Pinocchio, or you act like the little boy who cried wolf, how could you then come into my backyard and ask me for your support? The standards have got to be changed. White liberals in name and form means nothing without substance. It, in fact, is an even greater slap in your face. We cannot continue to allow it to go on. And I'm coming to the close with solutions. It is most important that we understand, even in the recesses of our mind, that we must use our spiritual power, that we cannot allow them to take our spirituality away from us because they have tried to manipulate our Bible, our Quran, and our Torah. As a people, if we realize that we are in a state of emergency, it becomes absolutely essential that we cut out all of the foolishness. Which means now that I've made mistakes, you've made mistakes, but we cannot make any more excuses. That in one of my songs on my album, I say, in a war, there can be no excuses. Two camps, the used and the users. Your mind, you've got to read and nourish. Your talent that unfolds and flourish. So to my people, I say this, that I am dedicated to a spiritual rebirth. That I will embrace and use my spiritual power to become a more moral person. That I will ask you to do the same. We must embrace our African values. We must teach them to our children and other children who do not have the pleasure of having coherent parents. We cannot afford to mess up because they're waiting for us to mess up. Which means now that you can be a black man with a small crime and they will use that to occupy you in the criminal justice system for the rest of your entire life.